Many years ago, I met a man. One of his biggest regrets was that he never went to university. And he told me that nobody in his family ever went to university either. He came from a real working class background. Everybody knew their place, whatever that meant. And nobody got too big for themselves. And everybody's like worked hard, and the woman that worked in the home and raised the children, she wasn't expected to work. But this man had an unfulfilled dream. He always wished that he'd gone to university. It's something he wanted to do. And we got chatting, and he said, I've fulfilled my dream. And I said, oh, what's that? And he said, I've got my university degree. And when he told me, I was so chuffed for him. It wasn't about the destination of what he was going to do with that university degree. The fact that he broke out of what was a social norm within his family, within his group of friends, within his community, and he decided he wanted to go that little bit further. And, he made a point of continuing to read and learn and have his awareness expanded. It made him feel better as a person. And it doesn't matter about the cost, because we can spend a lot of time and money on wasting and having nothing of any substantial worth because of it, just the experience. But this man had gone and studied for 3 years. He got his degree, and he had that certificate that meant the world to him. And he actually said, I can die in peace now. I've achieved my dream. So if you're going to allow your dreams, your wants, to be put in the hands of other people, you will meet two types of people. One type of people that will try and put you off and try and deter you to go into another direction. But you'll also meet people who will encourage you and even see further into your potential that you don't even see yourself. But that encouraging group are people that part of a new generation of it isn't enough just to be stagnant. It isn't enough just to exist. And you could be at home not seemingly doing anything. There are people who are running podcasts and they've got YouTube channels and they're working from home, yeah? And they're doing what they love doing. They're sharing all their wisdom, their understanding, their knowledge to help others. There's a load of them out there who are actually selling an idea that is basically with lots of clickbait and trying to get people to listen. From the amount of people that have subscribed and listened to, they get paid a lot of money. But if we all take a look at our lives and our choices, and we think about what we really want to do, and perhaps we've got some experience or understanding that we can share. So as someone with a caring nature, someone who is caring and compassionate about other people, whether it's elderly, young people, but might choose to go and work in that direction. They might need to go and get a college degree or a university degree or get some other training, or they might be able to go into the job and get some in-house training. There are loads of cooking channels on the internet. I don't make any of them, I must admit, but loads of cooking channels and baking channels and people doing all this. And they're fascinating. The fact that we watch something, and it's not a college course, the fact that we watch something out of interest to learn how it's done, even if we don't apply it, our mind has altered because we understand, that's how it's done. We go out in the world and we don't just take the world for granted. What's going on here? There's some building here. Oh, what they're going to actually do. We have a greater awareness and curiosity about life. But when life is steering us and we're trying desperately to try and catch up and do, or to keep up with everybody else, or to do whatever we're told and be influenced by whatever is external, it's very easy to lose who we are. That transition from, it's almost like being a child to growing up. We don't need to necessarily hold someone's hand in our adulthood, but we can choose to hold hands together. We can choose to love instead of being lured into some sort of relationship that is without love. We can choose to go and visit somewhere, or go travelling somewhere, or even go off the beaten track. But when you feel you've got to go, it isn't with the same energy and tension. We can choose to meet friends and even strangers. That I've noticed there's walking groups around. People are joining and they're in their mature age. So they're doing it for health and fitness, but there's a community spirit. People are talking to each other, connecting with each other, and they're sharing a journey together. Nobody is pushing anybody for anything. When you decided to say no, or you decided you didn't want to do something, did you follow through that thing that you wanted to do? It's taken a long time for me to do this. A long time. But I had to do it. I had to do it for me, because I pulled back. And I had to do it because I've got a lot to share. And I was blessed with a really nurturing mother, and involved with helping people since a very young age. If I suddenly don't reach out to other people, I'd be going against my best nature. And I see the potential in people. I also see people who are held down. I also see people who are frightened. I see people who are in cruel, abusive relationships. At times I've been the referee and even trying to help someone, and it breaks my heart when I see people too scared. They're right at the line where they can get help, and they allow their controller, the coercive abuser, to pull them back again. They're just not ready. I have to trust that one day they will be. Life is full of well-intentioned people, but there are other people who manipulate others to gain some sense of power and control over them. People who are insecure, who lack confidence, people who are not used to getting their voice out there, people who are not used to standing up for themselves. They might stand up for other people, but we cannot allow this bullying and this pressure and this influence of detrimental decisions, and even misleading and misguiding us of the pathway that we're meant to be on. Your life might have been absolutely smashed to pieces. Relationships fall apart, people pass away, circumstances can change overnight, and it's like the whole world turns upside down. And then it's, where do we go from here? Well, where do we go from here? We're here now, and I'm saying, what do you really want to do? And if it's nothing, you want to just sit there, have an easy day, a cup of tea, go out for a gentle walk, pick up a book, or put on your favourite music, or even turn up some dance music and dance around the house. Go and do some exercise, go and run. Maybe try and make something, or tackle a job that you've always said you wanted to do. Maybe there's a bit of DIY. Maybe get a pad and paper and do some writing, or even a canvas and some paints, or pencils and a sketch pad, and just draw. Maybe go online and see what is there that interests you, and go and see if you can find a YouTube video or a video online that is something that you really want to do and you don't know how to do it, and go and see how you can do it, if that's what you want to do. But while you're out there pleasing everybody else and doing what everybody else wants you to do, you're not doing what you want. And this habit, once broken, you then suddenly free a lot of time in your life. You then become to control your life. You then allow yourself to listen to your own intuition, your own mind, your own thoughts. You may even pray and ask for divine guidance. God, help me. Help me to lead my best life. Guide me in the right way. You're born for a purpose, and you're here to contribute into the world too. You're already living a purpose. I'm sure that you've already made a positive impact to people But when you're actually living your life for you, I don't mean totally selfish, I mean when you're doing what you want to do and you make a choice. Say, for example, you are involved with helping others and you're tired out, but you're being pulled to do more and more and more, or you're working in a job that you just don't enjoy at all and you're having more and more expectations loaded on you and you're stressed out. It's not so easy, is it, to say, no, I don't want to do that to a boss through fear you might lose your job. But have you thought, is this what you really want to do? You have to arrive to a certain point in time where you say, hang on a minute, this isn't what I want. And if you ignore that, you might get to a point where you have a bit of a crisis and the stress makes you ill. And you might even get to a point where you say, that's it, enough is enough. Well, when you reach to that point of enough is enough, hopefully before you pick up yourself, you'll want to rest for a while and just blank out everything and try and gain perspective. But just start little baby steps doing what you want to do. Today is a new day. Tonight you'll go to sleep. Give yourself this 24 hours and then wake up and decide what is it that you want to do and set yourself on that pathway. And I wish you all the best, and I wish you happiness, and I wish you fulfillment, and you meeting of new people in your life are people who might actually relate to where you're at. And being the leader in your life, you will discover all those people that you followed, that you think you've outgrown, they've watched you, and some of those people will be inspired by you too. And some will not realise how they held you back. But it's okay. Sometimes having a bit of a rein on us, holding us back before we fly, so we don't go flying forward and trip up and hurt ourselves. But sometimes the most unexpected people, particularly somebody who's very shy, they set out on a journey and they get all the understanding and they get fully equipped for what they've got to do, boom, and then one day they're standing on the stage and they're speaking out and they're sharing their heart, their wisdom, their understanding, and being inspiration for other people. You are an inspirational light. Never think you're not good enough. Choose where you want to go. Now, in some countries, education is very expensive. So if you can't afford it now, what would you like to do? If you get yourself trapped into a job that you don't want to do, that's going to be leading into another time factor taken up on your life. But if there's something that you would enjoy, or something that you can learn from and grow from, and there might even be job opportunities, work opportunities, where they'll pay for your studies, they'll pay for your education. This is if you want to go down that route. You might just want to simplify your life, get more in touch with nature, be more economical and more resourceful within living, be more creative. Again, the choice is yours. You might just want to forget all the mundane and create a life that is dynamic and exciting. Some people are getting up early in the morning and they're meditating, and others are getting up at 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning and doing a massive exercise regime to keep them going. But they're going to bed early. Some people are getting up and they're diving into a nice cold bath. That's just enough to get them going. All the choices that you want to make that will bring you to how you want to be and do what you want to do they're within you already. You might find somebody who is an inspirational leader in a field that you're interested in, or even to go in a positive thinking regime. It might involve some changes within, psychologically and physically. But it's the habit forming of what you do that brings change, not that decision. Addictions come from habit. So if you're involved in a negative cycle in life, it's possible that it's become habit forming. So to start a new cycle in life that is positive and more emotionally and spiritually rewarding and fulfilling within, that involves starting a new habit, a new routine. And if you miss a day, that's fine. Don't punish yourself. You decide you're going to be healthy. Okay, so what do you want to do that's more healthy? Where are the points that you want to be healthy? Is it in your mind? Is it in your physiology? Do you need to address some eating? Right, what's affordable? What can you actually do? Because you don't need a lot of money to change your life. It's a mindset that is to change our life. And if we are too busy allowing ourselves to be pressured by other people to do certain things and meet certain goals, that might be their goals. However, when you set your own goals, and they might be very small goals in the beginning, and you've achieved them, and you get that feeling of satisfaction, wow, I've done it. Do you know, it's very easy to do another one and another one. And what you're doing, you're building on that satisfaction, that feeling of satisfaction, knowing that you can do it. So forgive yourself for allowing yourself to be distracted from yourself and what you really want to do. And forgive other people for their inability to see your potential. And even if they can, and you feel that they've held you back in some way, you can let them go if you want to. But there comes a point that when you want to grow, nothing is going to stop you. You will be thinking, you know something, I can't do this anymore. Or when a relationship or friendship's gone sour, enough is enough, I don't need this anymore. Boof. There's no going back. The way forward might seem empty for a while, but it's not always going to be like that. And all the best to you. Take care. Bye.